Eudora here, Eudora Alessa. First of all, before I start to talk about why I'm doing this video, I would like to take the time to acknowledge the indigenous of the land, the native, the proper owner of this land. At this moment, I will take the time to acknowledge them in silence. I acknowledge them because this is what they believe in. Because they are the owner of the land. Because they believe in nature. Because they believe in humanity. Because they believe that everything God created, He created it for a reason. Even the trees. Can you imagine newcomers, new settlers come into your country, take over the country, take away your children, take away your wives. You have no right whatsoever. There is a school built to educate your child, whether you like it or not. Your child is taken away from you, put into a residential school. For how many years? Since the 16 or 1700, there was a residential school in this country. At the residential school, the indigenous children were banned from speaking their language. They were banned from not exercising spirituality. They were not allowed to do anything that their culture demands from them. But they had to live and obliged to live according to the European rules and regulations. Today we celebrate Canada Day, July 1st, 150 years of Canadian or European presence in Canada, 150 years of or more. In the year 1400 or late 1400, Christopher Columbus sailed into Canada. Canada now lives better life than the Native American, the Native Canadians. I stand here to acknowledge that they are humans. They belong in this country. This is their land. So I dare to speak about them without acknowledging the fact that they are here. This is the land. Now, it's a bill called the Indian Act. The Indian Act is simply a law that was passed if an Indian, indigenous, aboriginal, Native American or Canadian married anyone out of their community, that child or that person is denied automatically their Indian status. Discrimination, racism. So, example, I'm Eudora, I'm from Liberia, and if I happen to marry a Ghanaian or Nigerian, which means I'm no longer a Liberian, I'm a Ghanaian or a Nigerian. I would be happy to be a Ghanaian or a Nigerian because we are all African. But in this case, the indigenous, they can marry anybody. So now it was a strategy that the European used to trap them, to take away their inheritance, their land. A systematic genocide is going on in this country. 150 years of European presence in Canada, 150 years blood flow onto the ground. Okay, let me see. The United Nations have actually come up to acknowledge that they should be treated like humans. The way we Canadians treat the native, they are not supposed to be treated this way. Come on, these people are dying every day. This is their land. No, I want to be silver today and just be a good Canadian. Before doing this video, I Googled just to know between yesterday and today if there were any missing murder women. Yes, there is. Tell me, people who owns the land, tell me something. Your child is taken away from you, taken into a school where that child may never come back. Most of them were adopted into new family because they had to forget about who they were. Come on, man, people. Discrimination, racism. This thing about we all have to be European, it's time to just allow others to be themselves. Let others be who they are, not what they are not. Okay. What is that? I have allergy. So, oh yeah, this is Kaote. As an African queen, I get to drive all the flowers, so no flowers. Okay, serious. This is the lake. Imagine, not this now, but this is Ontario, Mississauga. Can you imagine, as a far distance, there's a ship coming. This is a little village. There are people watching a ship. They don't even know what that is. They have never seen it ever. They all come out and see those strangers coming into the land. They receive them. This is Christopher Columbus. He discovered this land. Tell me, a land can only be discovered and owned when it is empty. But there were people on this land. But when the European came here, they did not acknowledge the fact that there were people here. The people living in this country were simply an object. They became absent. So I usually say the European, what's the word? European presence in Canada became the absence of the indigenous people. Christopher Columbus comes, now he found a new land. This is the new land, and soon the British, the French, the German, name it, Canada became Europe, and today we are all here. Africa is here, but before then, let me not bring Africa into this. African were here, but I am not here for Africa today. The African queen is putting aside Africa. It's all about Canada today. So when we celebrate Canada Day, when we are laughing, sharing news, the natives are frustrated. Their tears are rolling down. They are hurt. They are lonely. They kill them, and the government do nothing. Absolutely nothing. The life of an indigenous of this country does not matter. If everything that you have, your family, your land, your property have been taken away from you. And a liquor. In Africa, we were given Bible. They give us Bible to pray and close our eyes. When we were praying, they took the land. Here, they give them liquor. They give them alcohol to drink. With the alcohol they were drinking, their land and daughters were gone. Oh, Canada. Happy 150 years, Canada. Oops, forgot something very important. If we say 150 years, Canada, which means we are cutting off a history of people before 100 years ago. So there were people then, and there are people now, and those people still exist. So happy Canada Day, everyone, and again together we can help to stop the missing and murder Aboriginal women. in Canada, both Canada and the United States, because in 4 days, the United States will also be celebrating their independence. That also murdered that of Canada. The indigenous are over there, they are also dying. Their daughters are dying every day. So women around the world, when you watch this video, please try to learn about the Native Canadian and support them in their struggle for love and humanity. They deserve to be loved. They deserve to stay alive. Thanks for watching. This is Eudora here, Eudora Aletta, the African Queen.